Hello, hello. I'm just going to wait for people. Thank you for joining me. I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes because I started a little bit early, and then we'll carry on. And in the meantime, I'm going to turn my phone on airplane mode. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Intuitive Knowledge Podcast. I am Godbreath. Here we help you find your faith, switch your perspective, and transform your mindset, just the same way I did. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the biggest thing I did to transform my mindset. I want to, and I've said it before, but it saved my life. Like, it absolutely saved my life. So last week, if you remember, oh yeah, thank you for last week, by the way, because last week's live didn't go as planned, and that's what today's live is going to be about. So that you can see that I apply all the learnings that I have. Hello. So you can see that I apply the learnings across my life, across all areas of my life. Sorry, I've got a really itchy hand all of a sudden. And so let's begin first and foremost with a little bit of background to me, how I got here, and why gratitude is just so vital for me, no matter what the situation, and how last week, even though I was being challenged, I was able to tap into gratitude and completely switch that around. So I'm so aware of the power of it because I've been using it for over 5 years now. 5 years now I've been using it. So let's just begin with a little bit of a backstory. The first thing is that 5 years ago, I had actually decided to end my life, and I wasn't okay. And I'd actually been in America for 2 months. I think I was there. I was in America for 2 months, and while I was out there, I'd had such an amazing time. I met so many amazing people. And yet, all of a sudden, I realized that depression wasn't going to take a holiday just because I had. And so I felt like my world came crashing down, and I felt like I had nothing left to live for. So I had decided to come home and end my life that year. And when I think about it, when I think how close I came, when I think about how close I was, when I think about the fact that I'd written my husband a letter, when I'd written him a letter to say that I'm really sorry that I couldn't make it work. I'm really sorry that I couldn't do for you what you've done for me. When I said that none of this was his fault, when I said that he'd done everything he could, but the failure was in me. And I just wasn't okay. And I flew over to England, and my brother picked me up from the airport. And there was just something said, tell him. I know that something now to be my intuition. And something just said, tell him how you feel. So I just looked at him and I said, I can't do this life thing much longer. And his response wasn't the generic kind of, let me put my arm around you, let me tell you, it's all going to be, he wasn't happy. And he was just like, what the F are you talking about? Can't do this life thing much longer. When was the last time you said that you were grateful? When was the last time you said thank you? Thank you for the life you have, the home you have, the husband you have. And by this time I was looking at him I was incredulous at this point, because I looked at him and thought, how can you tell me to be grateful when I've had 5 miscarriages, I've had a hysterectomy, I'm not okay, really in my victim story. And he just said, I don't care. I don't care what you think is wrong. I'm asking you when the last time you said thank you was. And I was like, just explain what you mean. And we started to talk about the power of gratitude. I don't think even he was aware of how powerful gratitude is. But we spoke about gratitude, we spoke about neuroscience, we spoke about metaphysical science, universal law, Sikh philosophy, ancient Indian philosophy, the Vedas. Like, we just spoke. He spoke to me about the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, like it was just a powerful conversation. But within the first few minutes of our conversation, when he spoke about gratitude and he spoke about me particularly being grateful for my life, something switched. Now when I look at it, I think, wow. But it was like there was something just, it was like a switch went off. And I remember feeling the most immense gratitude in the car with my brother that day, especially when it came to my husband, because I know I've married an absolute diamond of a guy. And so, like, you can't, there's very few people like him in the world. So immediately I picked up the phone and I rang my husband and I said, hey, love, I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay. And I heard it in his voice. He knew that something had changed. And I said, don't worry, I'm just going to carry on talking to my brother. I'll call you back in a bit. I don't think I actually called him back that day, because that conversation with my brother went on from around, I can't remember, it was either 7:45 or 8:45 in the morning, because they're the times that those flights land in East Midlands. And we spoke from 1:45 to whatever hour it was until the very early hours of the following morning. And that was on September 12th, 2015. Now, since that day, I have practiced gratitude daily. I've practiced meditation daily, apart from a few months when I had Hari, but that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that then. But I was transformed. I came home and I started to say, thank you for everything. Thank you for all the things that I thought you were challenging me with, universe. Thank you for my home. Thank you for the hot water. Thank you for the home I have to clean that I keep complaining about. Thank you for giving me a home to clean. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just kept saying it. Had no idea, because what I decided was that I was going to learn my way out of depression and anxiety. Like, that was my thing. But I had no idea what I was doing at this moment. All I knew is that I was saying thank you, and it made me feel good. It made me feel good. It made me, I was going to say, forget what was going on in my past or forget the things that got me to that point. But actually what it really allowed me to do was press pause on that story. After I pressed pause on that story, I was able to carry on with where it was that I wanted to go instead. Now, I know now that that's setting the intention. I know now that that's setting the focal point. I get that now. I didn't know it then. And that's why I want this podcast to be the place where I share what I did, why I did it, and why it helped, so that you can do the same, so that you do not have to feel like you're alone, like you're the only person that's felt the way you do, or like you can't get out of it. Because I know 100% that no matter where you are right now, if you do the work and you apply these teachings and more, like, go out and see, there's so many different teachers, there's so many, whether Western or Eastern, there's so many. I started to read books by Wayne Dyer. The Power of Intention was one of the first books I read. Gabrielle Bernstein, Marianne Williamson. Like, I just went off on one when it came to studying. So anyway, now what then happened was, after I'd done that for a few months, in fact, after I'd done it for 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Now, this isn't me saying to you, give up the pills. This is me saying to you, I did it because I knew the man that I had. I knew what I knew what I was going through, and I knew that I was done living any other way. And so I started to practice gratitude. Can I just tell you what's happening right now and where my head went? My cat, I have a cat, and I'm sitting downstairs, and my cat has, I live out in the sticks, and my cat has a mouse. My cat has a mouse in the garden. Anyway, so I started to practice gratitude, saying gratitude for everything. Things started to change. They absolutely just turned on their head. So now I know what actually happened, and I want to share with you what happened and how I applied all of this to last week's failed podcast launch. So I have my notes in front of me so that I don't, because you know I like to talk, so I don't get distracted or on diversions. So here's the thing, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, that here we help you find your faith, switch your perspective, and transform your mindset, because that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. And gratitude, no matter where you are in your life, gratitude is the thing that will shift you out of it. It will shift you out of it, and it will help direct your focus elsewhere. It will help you to begin to create the effect stage of your life, because the life that we're living is the effect stage. The cause is in here and in here. So that's what this is about. So Tesla said that, and I'm not going to butcher it, so I'm not going to quote it word for word, but Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, and think in terms of vibration, energy, and frequency. And so what I started to understand was that our thoughts are frequencies, our feelings are frequencies, our words are frequencies. Everything carries a vibration. Everything carries an energetic signature. And so by raising my awareness and by raising my mindset to one of gratitude, I was actually raising my vibration. So you've heard that your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And that everything in the universe vibrates. Well, so do we. We carry an energetic vibration of frequency. So I raised my frequency. That then, by being grateful, you switch on the filter's always there, the RAS, the reticular activating system. This part of your brain is always on the lookout for the thing that you're most commonly thinking about, most often thinking about, most often emotionally involved in. So the reason it does that, and it looks out for what you're thinking for versus what the universe knows to be best for you, is firstly free will, but because we have billions of bits of data coming at us at any given moment. And the RAS then has the job of filtering through that information. And the best way to filter through that information is by choosing what you are choosing to think and feel. And so when you switch to a perspective of gratitude, well, your RAS then is just looking out for the thing that you're looking out for, which is something to be grateful for. By the same token, when you're not being grateful, or when you're whatever you're thinking about, if you're always thinking in terms of troubles and problems like I was, then it's always going to look for reasons for why you can be offended, why you can find bother, why you can get into arguments, etc., etc. It's like you're in a room, a packed room, and you're having a conversation with somebody, but somebody in the corner of the room says your name. Nobody else has heard it but you, because your RAS is always on the lookout for what's important to you. And so that's what it started to do. And I realized that the more I was saying thank you, the more I was receiving in my life to say thank you for. It was bizarre. I obviously I know now what's going on. I didn't know then. And I realized that I was beginning to feel so much better. Within 2.5 weeks, I had decided to give up the pills. September 12th, 2015 to October 1st, practiced gratitude and gave up the pills. That began a journey of, oh, and if you want to know what pills, by the way, I was on antidepressants for 15 years, and I was on anti-anxiety meds, pain meds. I'd had a hysterectomy. I wasn't okay. But I knew that I had stumbled upon an inner strength, an inner knowing that allowed me to believe that I could give up the pills. I knew I had the support. I knew I had an incoming of wisdom and knowledge from people, from places, like I was seeking it out. And so I was able to give up the pills. My doctor didn't want me to do it that way, but I knew that that's how I wanted to do it. I basically wound up having a nervous breakdown and a drug withdrawal and a spiritual awakening all at the same time. But I would do it all over again, because gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. It saved me. It was a thing that I would go to no matter how I felt. I'm not saying it was always easy. I'm not saying it was always my immediate kind of, this is where I'm going to go. No, I began with, oh, I'm not feeling okay. I'm not feeling okay. And remembering, oh yes, I can switch this. I can change this. And that practice of constantly removing that churning cycle of anxiety and replacing it with something to be grateful for, or going to do something. And I'll talk about those things in a second, but doing something different, switching it out. So that's what I did. Now, here's the thing. Here's what gratitude does for your brain. Like, this makes so much more sense to me now, because you see, your brain is neuroplastic. It has the ability to mold, shape, and stretch. And the more it's actually impacted, the neuroplasticity is actually created through, like, our brain changes through the way we think. So our thoughts can actually change the way our brain is thinking, because the more we think of something, the more we do something, the deeper we create connections in the brain. But the less we do something, the further away those connections come. It's called synaptic pruning. The further away those connections go, and you can basically create more. And so it's a practice, and there's learning cycles and change cycles, all of this. See, it's all interconnected, and you have the absolute ability to do it. Just no one told us, my friends. No one told us. So yeah, anyway, your brain's neuroplastic. Gratitude alters the chemistry of your brain as well. It helps improve the cognitive function of your brain, so you think clearer. Oh my days, this is something I used to say to my husband all the time. Love, it feels like I can think clearer. It's like you can see clearer. Everything becomes impacted somehow, and it's because you chose to change one thing that has a ripple effect at a cellular level. So it's hugely powerful. So if you do not have a gratitude practice, I really highly suggest that you do. It's transformational. What else does it do? Of course, it increases and improves psychological health. Hello? I never knew. When I think about it, and then here's the thing, I need to stop knocking the table. Here's the thing. If you look at any scripture, East or West, they talk about gratitude. They talk about remaining thankful. And it's so overlooked, especially in today's age, where we've got the news and we've got all these troubles and all this stuff. But see, if you turn all that off, turn the noise off, and get connected to yourself, gratitude's the quickest way to do it. When you make the switch, when you turn off all the noise out there and you go inwards, you unleash and unlock a power that you didn't know you had. And so gratitude allows you to go beyond your senses, go inwards, so that you can turn on and switch on that part of you that you haven't turned on for a while, because the world tells us that we've nothing to be grateful for. But once you turn that off and you turn on what your spiritual DNA is all about, you realize actually there's so much more, because there's a greater, grander, bigger design that you're a part of. And it's not as small as what the media tells you and what the news tells you. And so what else does it do? Oh, it releases dopamine, your reward and pleasure. Like, see that instant hit you get when you've checked a text on your phone or you've eaten a chocolate or whatever else. That instant reward, that instant, whoo, I feel so good. Here's the thing, gratitude does exactly the same thing. And it's not just, I was going to say it's not just a instant gratification thing, but actually it really is. It really is instant gratification, but also it has a long-term lingering effect. The same way eating a bar of chocolate has a long-term effect in terms of your weight or your blood sugar or whatever else if you're eating too much of it. Same with gratitude. As much of it as you can intake, it will have a long-term effect. It's 5 years later, this is where I'm at. And I'm going to tell you that I applied this very thing in gratitude last week as well. And I said this in my Instagram live. It is anti-aging. It lengthens the telomeres, which are like the strands at the end of your DNA. Gratitude lengthens those, which makes it anti-aging. And like I said on Instagram live, I'm going to be 40 next year. I could do with a little bit of anti-aging. Not that I could do with it. I want a little bit of it, okay? Yeah, so it's anti-aging. It's anti-aging. And honestly, I do feel like I'm not just being funny about it, but I do feel like I've never felt like this before. And every day it just gets better and better. So imagine if you applied this for 5 days, if you applied it for 10, if you applied it for 5 months, 5 years, where could you be? I want to know where I'm going. I can't wait to see where I'm going to be in 5 years' time after I've applied it for another 5 years. So yes, let's have a look. What else? What else? So here's how I applied it to last week. So if we go back to the beginning of this podcast, I spoke about how when I was depressed and I'd suffered with suicidal ideation pretty much my whole adult life. And when I was in that space where I just wanted to give up, I think about how close I was, and honestly, how close I was to giving up. Because in my head, I wasn't going to live out until the end of 2015. The end of 2015 would have, because this was at the end of, it was the final quarter. 2015 would have been, I wanted it to be my final year. And I think now, back to that point, had I not done what I've done, you and I wouldn't be here having this conversation. So the biggest thing I learned from back then and last week was to never give up. I apply the same lessons throughout all of my life, wherever I can. How can I? Because everything's universal. You can apply these lessons to different areas of your life. And so I knew that I wasn't going to give up last week, no matter what. Yes, the podcast didn't go live. Yes, all of this stuff was happening. But do you know what? One of my mentors told me, Peter Sage, amazing guy, but he told us, and it's something I know to be true through my own experiences, through my own learnings, is that in your times of challenge, celebrate. It's an opportunity for something. Celebrate. So I just started to say, thank you, universe. I don't know why this isn't working. I know you've got a plan. Whatever it is that you might be directing me towards or saving me from, whatever it is, I know that you've got my back. And so for that, I'm so grateful. Just kept saying it. I know, I'm so grateful. Thank you for teaching me the things I need to learn. Thank you for, I learned so much over the last week or so about podcasting and all of that. And so I just started to say thank you. And I remembered, you don't give up on something that matters to you. Don't give up on something that means something to you. Don't give up. You don't give up. And my why I'm doing what I do, because this isn't easy, coming online and giving it all, like just being you. Sometimes you see me without makeup, sometimes you see me in my PJs. That's just who we are. This is family. I keep it real. But this isn't easy. This isn't easy to do. Plus, I've had to move my dining table so that I make sure I've got internet connection all the time, right? But don't give up. Just don't give up. Don't give up. You're here with purpose. You're here with the being that sent you here with everything you would ever need to overcome any of the challenges that come your way. You're designed to grow and serve, and your challenges will help you grow so that you can serve. And when you switch to that perspective, life takes on a very different view. So when you're challenged, say thank you. Thank you for the challenge and the opportunity to grow. Whatever it is that's going to come from this, thank you. Have faith and take aligned action. So since the very beginning, so since 2015 to now, I've had faith and I've grown my faith. I keep doing things that will empower my faith and increase my faith. I don't always have it high. Sometimes it dips, and I know that I've work to do or I've become complacent, but I know this much. No matter what is going on in my life, I will always tap into my faith and take aligned action, even if it's a little bit every single day. But taking aligned action with faith. So knowing that there's something guiding me, there's something guiding the universe, and the very thing that's guiding the universe is also guiding my heartbeat, I'm going to have faith in that. And no matter what it is that landed me here right now in this situation, whatever this situation might be, I'm choosing to have faith and trust in the universe, that the universe has my back. And if I just do the things that I need to do, it will all work out. So last week when it wasn't working, what I chose to do was record a video anyway. That video took I think 23 hours to upload. 23 hours. I still can't get over that, but still didn't give up. Still kept saying, you've got a plan, whatever you're doing. See the messages I've received from that video and that whole thing. Absolutely astonishing. My community, my intuitive, I was going to say IC community. It is the IC community, my intuitive knowledge community, who jumped on live with me last week when it did start to work, just so we could test it out. It allowed me to connect with them, connect with you at a deeper level. So there's always something that comes from it, always. What else? Don't give up, have faith, be grateful in times of challenge, be prepared. Be prepared for two things. Get prepared. If you've got something coming, get prepared for it. But be prepared if you haven't had time to prepare. Be prepared for, even if you have prepared, for things to not always go according to your plan, because there's a bigger plan at play. There's so many other things happening. Ease the pressure off of yourself in any situation. Ease that pressure and remind yourself that you're a part of a bigger plan. If it's not working out exactly how you thought it was going to, or you wanted it to, or you expected it to, pull back and remind yourself that there's something bigger at play here. And all of this allows you then to build your strength, to build your courage, to develop your faith, because that's the aim of the game, right? To do those things so that you can live a more peaceful life, because whatever's going on in here is the energy that's being put out, which is then being returned to us by the universe. So before, when all I could think about was my problems and all I would speak about is my problems, the universe had to mirror my energy and return it back to me in the form of challenges that I didn't know to be grateful for, right? So we switched that, and I start to say thank you and I start to feel gratitude, the universe starts to mirror it, because that's how it works, the cause and effect. And so if you are being challenged in this moment, may I please remind you that you were born with everything that you would ever need to overcome anything that comes your way. You were born with infinite potential. You were born with a direct line to source. So if you're stuck, if something's troubling you, get connected. Try gratitude. If you need some extra support, there's so many different avenues for you to go down. So many. Please don't suffer in silence. If you ever need support and you think, I might be able to help, hit me up in the DMs. I'll always be available, and I'll always try and point you in the right direction, like somebody did for me. The biggest thing you need to know is that everything that you will ever need is within you. It's within you. And see, I know that sounds so cliche. And it used to tick me off when I used to hear coaches say it. Like, oh, where is it? I can't find it. It really is. Just give yourself some time, some patience, some compassion, some love. And then practice gratitude. So if you don't have a gratitude practice already, I would suggest a gratitude practice. 5 things in the morning. The first words that come out of my mouth when my eyes open in the morning are thank you. Thank you for giving me another day so that I can try and be the best version of me for you, universe. 5 things in the morning, 5 things in the evening. And keep going. When you're being challenged, try and tap into 5 things, a few things, anything that makes you feel grateful. If you can, go out. If you are challenged, go out. Go. I'm a tree hugger. I hug trees. I like the energy of trees. Go out, ground yourself. Take your shoes off and go walking on the grass. Go, just do something if you are challenged. But go outside, tap into nature and say thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you, nature, for you. Do things like that. Tap into it. Feel it. If it sounds like this is a bit mad, because you haven't done it yet. When you do it, you'll join this club, guaranteed. And on that note, I want to tell you that on the 26th of September and the 30th of September, Saturday and Wednesday, I believe, 7 p.m, I am doing the Attitude of Gratitude webinar. It's free. I'll be running it so that we can begin this practice together, all ready for the 1st of October, which marks 5 years since I gave up the antidepressants and took control of my life. And so I'll repeat those dates: the 26th at 7 p.m. and the 30th at 7 p.m. We have the Attitude of Gratitude webinar. I will pop the link in my Instagram bio. And I will also maybe put a link here somewhere. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to go there somewhere. And I really, really do hope to see you there. And I'll expand on the Attitude of Gratitude even more so on the webinar. But I just wanted you to know that no matter where you are, don't give up on you. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on whatever it is that's challenging you. Ask for direction. Ask in faith. Expect to receive your answers. But ask the universe for guidance, because since 2015, that's all I've done. And it's absolutely transformed my life, because I acknowledged the higher power that I left unacknowledged for so long. So I hope this served you in some way. I was hoping it wouldn't be longer than half an hour, but it is. So I'm sorry. Stay blessed and well. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay in touch via Instagram. Keep an eye out on what we're doing there. Intuitive.knowledge is who we are on Instagram. And my website is intuitive-knowledge.com. And we have a few things up on there for you. So with that all being said, I hope this served you in some way. Stay blessed and well. Give yourself some love. Give others some love. If people are challenging you, say thank you for something. Say thank you. And the why will be delivered to you. It really will. Stay blessed. Bye.